Hey guys, welcome back to this training. This is the second part of this training, IP-based application bypass. We have covered all of it, overview, why we needed, limitations, requirement, and configuration. Now we're going to do the lab and troubleshooting and logs part. If you haven't watched the previous training, I would request you to go and watch it first and then watch this training. So in case of lab part, let me just do one thing. I am in the, this is my mobile portal, and let me just choose a URL or application. For example, this is my application, popple.com, right? And I want to bypass this application. So for now, this application traffic is going to Zscaler. How can we verify? We can go to the connection. Let's just check quickly the certificate. So this is a Zscaler intermediate certificate. That means the traffic is going to Zscaler. Other way, we can simply go and let's check for last 15-minute log for that particular application. So that's how you can verify where exactly that traffic is going. So we know, based on the certificate, we know this is going to Zscaler. Okay. So let's just quickly find out what all the IP addresses this application uses. So I quickly did an NS lookup, and what I found that these are the IP addresses this application uses, right? Okay, so let me just go ahead and call these IP addresses in our application bypass. So I went to the application bypass. This is a custom application, and this is the name of the custom application. So I can do it like this as well, custom, or I can see, let's just state purple, right? Purple is application, for example, IP application bypass. And let me just make sure I have called the correct IP address. So 104.18.28.2 and 104.18.29.202. Okay, I have called it for the TCP protocol and for the UDP protocol, both these IP addresses, because I'm running on IPv4 stack. Okay, after the application bypass configuration, I go to my app profile, and in the app profile, I'm gonna use the DTLS profile. I go to the very top, open to it, and go to the application tunnel 2.0 bypass section. I go to here and let me select, for example, themes and custom IP based bypass. I click OK and I save it. That's how, right? That's what we discussed, that it's a two-step process, or the configuration, and that's what we have done. This is what is done. Now let's just check what's gonna happen next. So after this configuration download, let me show you my Zscaler client connector. This is my user. It's using tunnel 2.0, and it's ZCC version 4.4, which is above the minimum required version, right? So this would support a feature, right? I'm also running tunnel 2.0, which is very important, and that's a minimum requirement, right? That's very important. So all done. Let me just do one thing to update, right? To get download this policy, either I have to wait for the next keep alive, or I can do what? Let's just restart the ZCC services. So I just restarted the services. Let it restart. So it's restarted. Okay. And I could see it's in connecting status. Once it connected, we're gonna do the replication. So let me close this first. We will reopen it. Okay. So the ZIA is still trying to connect. Okay, it's connected now, and you can still see it's tunnel 2.0, the same profile where we have called our application profile, right? And it's running. So now let's just try to access the same application, purple.com, and check whether this application is getting bypassed or not. I go to the same certificate section to quickly verify what certificate it has. Oh, it has the Zscaler certificate. So it looks like it's not bypassed, but there is a catch. At time, it uses cache, right? So let me just go to a different browser and very quickly uh, purple.com. Let's just check it here. So I can see the URL is opened, and the certificate is still Zscaler certificate. Okay, very good. Good way to troubleshoot. So let's just verify our configuration first. This is a DTLS profile. Before that, let's verify our application profile. This is here. IP addresses what we needed are already there, correct? Okay, let's cancel this section. Go to the application profile, open the app profile, go to the application bypass section, and I can see custom IP based application bypass is selected. I'll say save. Okay, let's just try to update the policy once. That restart was very quick, so probably it didn't do that restart. Usually when you do restart services, it takes time. Like you see, update policy taking time. Similar way, restart takes time, but it works so fast. So let me just check it quickly again. Purple.com. Now once again, the same application which we bypassed. Go to the certificate section, check for the certificate, and let's see. Now you can see this is the uh, public trusted certificate authority. So this is not signed by the Zscaler. That means this is bypassed because we have not changed the S inspection policy. That means by default we're doing the inspection for all the traffic. So that means if the traffic is going through Zscaler, it should be inspected, and we're going to see it in the log as well. That's an easy way to troubleshoot. Okay, so since now we see that the application is not inspected, it is going, it's getting bypassed based on our, application bypassed configuration. Let's just verify this from the logs as well. Okay, so I have this log file here. Let me export it, and let me export it to a folder um, because there are a couple of applications, and let me just export it to the new folder. Okay, now it's getting exported. What we're gonna check, if you remember from our last training, we're gonna check the ZSA tray log, right? The tray manager log to see the API calls, to see the application download, and then we're gonna see the tunnel logs as well to see if the IP address downloads are appended to our exclude list or not, right? So while it's happening, let me pause the training for a while so that we can save some time. All right, so I can see the export is done, and let me quickly go where we have saved it. So inside the new folder, there is a file called ZCC file, right? And the ZCC file is exported based on the date and time. So let me just extract this very quickly. Okay, so this file is extracted. Let me open it. The very first file we are interested in, basically the ZSA tree manager log. So this is the file we gonna look for, and let me quickly open it. So the file is open. Now there are few important keywords I would like to tell you, right? Which you can look when you looking for this log file. So the important keywords are here, and let me just mention these. Okay, so keywords are basically in the ZSA tree manager log. You can look for the app bypass, okay, process custom app changed, app identity append, right, and the destination exclusion. So this is basically the app bypass, process custom app change, app identity. This would all tell you, the configuration part, whether it's downloaded, what the configuration is. The append part would tell you that the IP address list for this custom application is appended to the destination exclusion, right? In tunnel logs, you can check for the network hostname section, and this keyword you can use, and then you can check these appended IP addresses there as well. Okay, so we have our ZSA tree manager log, log file open. Let's just use our keyword. So let's just use app bypass first. Okay, in the app bypass, I'll search first this. Okay, so at time you see, so because I have done it multiple times, that's why there are so many entries. But the top is the older one, right? The bottom is the latest. You can see it is 1251, and then it is 120. So we're gonna go for the latest one. So app bypass may not give you the exact right, but it would give you so many things. So you can call this. Okay, this is not very helpful, but what you can see that there is a new policy download happened. It's checking for the IP, the ID. It had, it didn't find any new changes and all. So the next keyword, which is important one, is this one, and the app identity, which would give you the most what you're looking for. So now app bypass also would give this, but then you have to find on multiple lines, right? So the process custom app change. Let's just click on the latest one. Now what you see in the latest one, that this is the IP what you have added. You can see this is the app ID. This is the IP you added under the protocol section. That's a port and that's the IP. You can confirm it from here as well, and you can see these are the exact same IP addresses. The app name, you can see it says custom IP application bypassed, right? And this is the ID for it. Okay, so this is how you can compare, right? And configure, confirm that the application download happened correctly, right? So the application is downloaded, and we can see the correct configuration, right? So you can compare the IP addresses and the application name, and you can make sure it's a right IP address is downloaded correct. The next keyword what you can use is basically app identity, and this will show you the API calls it makes. Okay, so you can see in this app identity what you can see basically, uh, what it's doing an API call to mobile.zscaler2.net API app identity, and it's trying to download that that JSON file which has that entry. Okay, the next keyword you can use append, and this keyword will give you the detail when it's trying to append the it's not here, it should be, and let me just check, or destination exclude. Okay. So destination IP addresses. No. This append. Let me just check on the append part one more time, because this is very important. You need to confirm. We don't see it, but let me just check. So once you added, you have figured out that, right? Okay, why we don't have this? So if the append is not there, let's just use this way, append and okay. So the keyword I used, it's okay. I think there is some mistake in it, but instead of that, what you use app end. Okay, instead of append, is you app end. That's the right keyword. And what you see in this append keyword, when you filtered it, you can see the process based application name, custom IP application bypass with this ID, and the append IPs you can see. Okay, so what it's doing, append custom app identities to the exclude list, right? And after it's combining. So these are the IP addresses. It's it's adding to that exclude list, and here it added that list, right? What you can do basically after, and even you can check the exclude list as well. Okay, let me just filter for the exclude list, and you can get it free. So this is the exclude list, where you can see. Okay, now in the tunnel logs uh, as well, you can check for the same file. Okay, so the tunnel logs, if you go and open these tunnel logs, what you can find the the network host name which are added to the destination exclusion. Okay, so I think it's like take for a while. Let's give it a minute. So let me close this as well. Let me go to the file once again. and let me open the tunnel log file. So we have a tunnel log file now available, and here we're going to check for the networks excluding network hostname, right? I filter for it and I scroll down because we want to see the latest one. And in this latest one, what I can see, this is the IP which are added in this hostname exclusion list. And same can be confirmed from this NSLOOKUP, which is for that application. These are the IP addresses. Okay. And you can also even confirm same from the um, custom IP applications here, right? This is the same list. So that's what all about this training. If it doesn't work, you need to make sure that you have a application download happened. You can use the keywords to make sure that application is downloaded. There is API call happen, and then after these API call, this this append this IP addresses are added to the exclusive list, and you can see the same in the ZSA tunnel logs. If it's not happening, then your tunnel that app bypass may not work. So you need to make sure that this is happening. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. See you in our next training. Till then, bye bye.